Hello, beautiful people. Psychic Debbie here, hoping you're having a great morning or afternoon. Look who's with me, Hana Banana. Yay!
Hello! Woo! Yeah! Yeah!
The crazy woman is back. No.
I'm back. I was just kidding. And
So
I'm
we're
so
going to have a
happy to be here.
conversation about truth, spiritual truth.
Yes,
So
we are.
this could go down a rabbit hole, or we could go who knows where this is going to take us, right? Because we don't have an outline. We just said, let's talk about spiritual truth and what our perceptions of it is and what resonates for you. You know what I mean? What resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, let it go. Okay, so what is spiritual truth to you, Hannah?
Dang, could you ask me a more loaded question? Do I have my coffee yet?
I don't know. Let me see.
Let me get let me drink. This is actually ginger tea. I'm like, oh.
Mine's just water.
All right. So a spiritual truth. Well, first of all, I just want to say these are just my opinions, right? I am giving a talk that says three truths, and they are truths that land inside of me. So when I think of a spiritual truth, I think that, I'm in my human experience. I have been perceiving the world in the normal, let's call it, way, right? I don't know, I'm a fish swimming in water.
Right.
And for me, a spiritual truth is like when all of a sudden I have been now taken out of the fishbowl and I'm suspended and I see something from a higher perspective. I see something from like, oh, that's what I was swimming in. Oh my God. How did I not have that perspective before? So spiritual truth to me, and this is like literally just coming out of my head. I didn't even think this. Like, I love that
This
it's
is
just
great. You're channeling it. That's
yeah, I'm just channeling it. It is that moment where I become something that's like observing a greater truth. It's like I all of a sudden come to a perspective where there's a greater truth that I can look at and see. And that's the best analogy I can get.
yeah. So I'm going to come from a different spot. A lot of
I
people
love
know
it.
that I had a near death experience. And
Yeah.
a lot of people know, and people are going, no, we don't know, Debbie. You need to do a video. You're right. I do. Um,
Yes, you do.
but what am I doing it? Okay, I don't know. So when the spirit or the entity or the vibration that came, and because I don't feel like it wasn't a beam, it was just, I don't know, it was a weird frequency vibration, said you are to help people see their spiritual truth. I didn't have no freaking idea what this thing was talking about. I had
Wow.
no idea. This is in 2004, so this is many years ago. So I was like, huh? I'm like, what the beep beep does that mean? Could you tell me? And they're like, nope, bloop, bye. So I
Don't you
feel
love spirit? Don't you love that spirit does that?
it's like,
Nope. Go now, figure it out.
that's part of your lesson. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, I don't want that lesson though. Too bad. See you later. And it was in your chart. You put it in your chart. And I'm like, and what's my chart? Do you know what I mean? I was like, trying to figure out so many different things. But
Yeah.
like you said, it's kind of like seeing the world in the forest or in these beautiful wildflowers. You know what I mean? Being stuck in there instead of being above and seeing all the colors and seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
It's like we were trying to protect ourselves and be in the bunch of the root of the flowers instead of seeing the blossom of the flowers. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Totally.
So, and I feel like spirit was saying, you're to help people get out of their root and be up and see the bloom,
Oh, I love that.
you know.
Ooh, girl. I
So that's
love it.
why a lot of times when people say, I'm going through a struggle, I'll say, well, the seed is already planted. Whatever you're dreaming about, whatever you're desiring, whatever you're focusing on, whatever you have that pull, that's your truth. Not someone else saying you need to be a doctor, or nurse, or lawyer, or cook, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Your truth is that pull. You get that pull in you. That's the seed. To me, that's the seed. Okay. So
Yeah.
then when you planted the seed, it's like, okay, I'm going to be an intuitive person. I'm a psychic. I'm going to help people find their spiritual truth, even though I might not know what all that means, but I'm going to plant that seed. So I plant the seed and I go forward. I listen to my insight and I go forward and I planted the seed. Then all of a sudden I'm going through destruction. Things are bad are happening. I'm losing friends. Things are getting destroyed. And
the sky is falling.
Right. And then it's like, I thought you said I was supposed to go in my spiritual truth. But what I'm getting is I'm getting bombarded. Things are not happening the way I want them to happen.
Yeah.
I'm in fear of this spiritual truth that you're trying to show me.
Yeah.
But then spirit says to me, honey, you're the seed. You're just going through the ground. You don't want to bloom underground. You want to bloom above a ground. So that turmoil is like if you see a plant going through the dirt, it goes like this, right? It's like an earthquake.
Yeah, shaking.
The soil breaks away. You're trying to get up, right? And it's grass, these flowers, so that it could bloom outside, because it's going to have a ripple effect for everybody connected to the universal space.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is spiritual truth is that seed, because everything else will fall into place and fall apart that is not connected to that seed.
I love it.
So if you're constantly going, yes, I want to be a doctor. No, I don't want to be a doctor. Yes, I want to be a doctor. No, and you're going to be underground going like this. You might feel like you're connected to your spiritual truth.
Yeah.
But you're not connected to your spiritual universal truth.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like saying, like people say that you're in the closet, whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Closet of something that happened to you, or I in the closet because I felt bad that I hurt somebody, or my perspective of life is not the same as everybody else, and we hide it. That's being under the dirt, and that's not being in your spiritual truth. It's where you're going to be connected to your spiritual truth when you can shout on the mountaintops and be that bloom, and you don't give a, excuse my language, rat ass what anybody thinks of you. Because when you're in that, because then you're going to be in your love and your joy, which is the highest frequency, which will affect the universal source.
I love it. As you're speaking, you're like, and mic drop.
Hey, mic drop. And
there you go. But no, it's like Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
That's all. You know, like I'm done. That's all. No, I love it so much. As you were speaking and you were talking about the seed, it reminded me of this book. So there is this book, and it's a channeled book. The author is anonymous, okay? But they said, and it took, I think it was 40 years of deprogramming in order to get the channel. I think it's a woman who channeled it, clean enough to receive messages from Jesus, to like tell parts of his story. And it's really, really controversial. I will find the name of it and I will send it to you so that you can pop it in the link if people want to read it. Okay. And one of the things so I'm reading it, and it's a really weird book, right? Like sometimes it's like bold print, and then sometimes letters are all in caps, and it kind of like fluctuates in the text. And the channeler did this because she said, I needed to like give energetic emphasis to how I felt it. And that's like the best way she figured out how to do it.
Oh, cool.
So it's cool. And it's deep and heavy. So one of the parts where, Jesus comes in and he's talking about the parable when he says the mustard seed, when he talks about the mustard seed in the Bible. Right. And he's saying that people did not understand what he meant by that. And what is the quote? It's something like, if you have the faith.
Yeah.
The faith of a mustard seed, right? Like, and he's like, why would I even try and equate faith with something tangible? And he goes, here's what I meant by it. And I haven't read the book in a while, and I probably should have read it before this, but it's just coming to me right now. And he says something like, the mustard seed, all it has to do is be what it is. It already is encoded for everything that it will create and be, right, in this world. So the faith he's talking about, like when we think about us as humans, right? So this is like, boom, spiritual truth being dropped. We are already programmed. The seed, that mustard seed, is already inside of us. It's already here. All we have to do is be true to that and not try and be something else.
Right.
Like
But
it's that simple.
It's fantastic because that's exactly what Spirit showed me when I said I was in that space, and it says you're supposed to help people find the spiritual truth. You know, I talk about this all the time. The peeps that follow me, I talk about the is space.
Yeah.
Like the mustard seed. There's
Is.
no left. When you're in the other dimensional place, you don't have consciousness. You don't have unconsciousness. You don't have this duality. It does not exist. Not even a hair. Does not exist in that space, because that's judgment. There's difference between
there's no judgment.
There is no judgment
No
at
judgment.
all. You can't even be in judgment because you're in the is space where there is no left or right, up and down, positive or negative. And I always explain it like a tree. It doesn't go to the dirt and go, give me so much dirt. It doesn't go to the water and say, give me so much water. It doesn't go to the sun and go, give me so much sun. It just takes what it needs to be in the is to have its growth. It's not competing. It's not in judgment. It's in ingratitude. Do you know what I mean? So like if it's an apple tree, it's taking from the dirt, the sun, and the water, but then it brings fruit, which then falls from the tree, plants the seed, then the rest rots away, feeds the dirt again, and we just go back again, right? So being in the is, because every one of us, there's no one excluded, needs to be in their spiritual truth, because it's like working this clock. Even if you're this little bolt that's holding the big wheel, like a Big Ben. I love those old clocks, those mechanical things. I love that era. So, and that's probably why they just described it to me that way.
Yeah.
If you're even that little bolt that's holding the big wheel, if you're gone, the big wheel falls down, then everything else falls down. So that's why the universal source, God, Buddha, whatever you believe in, is wanting you to be in your spiritual truth, because it's not just for us, it's for the rest of the world.
It is. We're like all collectively in this consciousness. Yeah. Like the fabric, and it does make a difference. That's why people are, a big thing is like people are waking up, right? People are waking up to their spiritual truths. And there are going to be these times of, pushing through that dirt. I feel like I'm going through one right now. On my own. It's and it's constantly happening. It's constantly, because I'm constantly growing. My company is Wildflowers Within. Like there's going to be, wildflowers don't just stop right along my journey. They're going to be like, boom, boom, boom. And all of that. So we are going to be in the thick of it, and, just popping up. And I love your background. I love that it's like the beautiful wildflower.
That's why I did it, because you're Wildflowers Within.
This one right here. This is a wildflower from my garden outside.
Beautiful.
I love it.
It's like the same flower right here. I think it's the same flower.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, it's being in that space. It's like, it not only being in your spiritual truth helps you and makes things go more at ease for you. And I'm not saying that you don't, when you're in your spiritual truth, that there isn't any struggles, or there's always going to be a pull to be bigger and better, because you're worthy of that. We're the ones that put the ceiling on it, right? It's like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Why not a billionaire? Why not a trillionaire? Well, I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can. Why can't you? Or it's like, I could love fully without, I want to love fully without breaking my heart. Well, you can do that. No, you can't, because I always pick people that break my heart. Well, again, you're not in your spiritual truth. You were doing it for them. You're compromising for them.
Yeah.
So that's, or in health, like Louise Hay says, when we have some kind of health issue, it's because we're in dis-ease. We're not in ease. Spiritual truth to me is being in ease.
Yeah.
In the flow. Sure, you're going to have to climb the mountain and go down to deep blue sea, but you can either complain about it, be, Fred Flintstone or the grumpy old man, or you could be Barney and be like, this is fun,
Yes, totally.
We're going through the experience. Do you know what I mean?
It is. Yeah. And like when spiritual truths land, there is this moment, like this aha moment where things are very, very clear.
Yes.
But the most hilarious thing is then we pop out because we came back to be human, right? We came here to experience this human life. And so even though like theory, like all of a sudden the spiritual truth, instead of that visceral moment of like, it goes to like a memory because we're stuck, or at least I'll speak for me, because then sometimes I'll get stuck again in the thickness of this, the humanity soup.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh man, I need to become clear again. I need to hold on to that truth that I heard and fortify myself to allow this to resonate deeply within me so that everything else can just burn off, like that alchemical fire. I transcend, I can burn everything else off because that truth is inside me. You know what I mean?
Right. And this is what's crazy. I don't know if you beautiful people are seeing this, but when she was saying the word truth, her aura turned green.
Oh, cool.
Right now it's purplish kind of color. It just goes in and out of purple and white, purple and white. But then when you were talking about, I need to get connected to my spiritual truth, and you're kind of like this, I saw your aura, but I see auras. So I don't know if everybody else has seen. I feel like you can see it in the film. It turned green. It was an instant. It was quick. So that to me is like the universe is like, yes, let's heal her to get her into her spiritual truth. You're tapping into it.
Yeah.
So why I'm saying this is just even vibration of the words of I want to get into my spiritual truth. I want to get into my spiritual purpose. It already changed your auric field.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a struggle where people are going, yeah, but Debbie, I'm not getting this. I don't know how to connect to it. I don't just even asking, or even just her saying the word to connect to my spiritual truth, her vibration already changed. Because saying the word truth has a certain tone, a certain vibration. I mean, you can even be mad at it. You can be like, I don't like the truth, or you can't handle the truth. I mean, like Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. And it's like, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. So maybe that's where to start.
Yeah.
Can you handle the truth that you're an alcoholic, or that you have an eating habit, or you are or you're over compromising, or that you don't have boundaries, or that you are not dreaming big enough, or you're not taking the leap of faith. Like I was being a fairy godmother to Jana the other night. I'm surprised I'm still alive. Because I was like,
on me.
Be on TikTok. Be on TikTok. I was just like adamant because that power was like, I was seeing the truth. I was seeing that people love your personality, love your things that you're doing, your jewelry. She makes
my blessed jewelry here. Look, I even wore it. So this is a Guadalupe rosary. It's got beautiful like beaded crystals right here with copper. And then these seeds are Job tears from Medjugorje, a holy site in Bosnia, Herzegovina.
So you know how pretty, and she's going to be selling them. So
yeah,
wildflowerswithin on TikTok. Go check it out.
Thank you.
But
even though I didn't want to join, even though I was like, shut up, Debbie. She's like, no, and you got to do TikTok and this and that. It was like 40 minutes. Even Roy was like, yeah, I think I heard her. Debbie was talking to you about TikTok. I'm like, Roy was on the Zoom right before we started recording. I was like, Roy, oh, God bless you, but I don't know how you do it sometimes.
I know. But when I'm dead and gone, you'll thank me.
Yeah. No, the thing is, okay, so here's the thing about spiritual truths, right? Even though it annoyed me, right? I would say I was annoyed, okay? But it's like, it was so annoying because there was also this tiny thread going, freaking listen. She knows what she's saying. You're feeling that this could be something, so do it. Like, it was the truth. You were telling me a spiritual truth, but I was still annoyed.
Right.
But I started it, so I'm allowing it in.
And I know, and then look at you got 300
Yeah.
views on some of your video already, and you
Yeah.
only got like 5 views, you know.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm tagging you on every video.
I
So
know.
it's like I'm tagging Debbie. Did you see me? Here I posted. Here I posted. I'm gonna tag her on every single video. It's gonna be amazing.
But see, that's what I'm saying is for the people that are watching us, what does this have to do with spiritual truth? Sometimes the spiritual truth is not for you. It's
Ooh.
what you're doing is for other people.
Oh, amen.
So
Yes.
that's why when Spirit talked to me when I had my near death and said, you are to help others find their spiritual truth, then I will find my spiritual truth. It's kind of like what I'm always talking about is like receive so you can be of service, not to give to get, not do something to get something.
Right.
I'm always talking about that. And I'm going to keep on repeating that because I know that's what my verbiage is, you know, that's part of my spiritual truth that I'm supposed to teach people. It's like allow yourself to receive so then you can be of service to other people.
Yeah, I love it.
So if you allow your spiritual truth, and I don't care what it is, if you're saying, you know, I'm selling worms, go for it. Do you know what I mean? I've told this story before. It's making me sweat. But anyways, I told this story before that I did a reading for a lawyer. This is when I was doing in-person readings. And he sat down. He's this lawyer. He was very famous. He was making tons of money, had the house on the coast, the whole bit. Kind of like your story, huh? You know, like having everything. And he goes, I don't want to be a lawyer. He goes, I want to have a skateboard shop. And I go, is that your, he goes, yeah, I just want a frickin', I said, well, then do a frickin' skateboard shop. He goes, my family will disown me. And I go, that's not their spiritual truth.
Yeah.
You know that what your spiritual truth is to have that skateboard. You're going to be 10 times happier. Are you going to have less money? Yes. But the money that you made could buy the building, buy the store, buy the da-da-da-da, and then just go from there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he did. I mean, it was like a year or so later, but it was like, yep. And I think it's down by Long Beach. I think it's even down there somewhere.
Oh, how cool. My old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, I just want the freaking skateboard. He goes, I love it. I like teaching it. I'm on it 24/7. I'm like, well, then that's where you need to go. Do you know what I mean? So he tried that other life like you.
Yeah. And, you know, and I've been on here before. If you guys have seen us talk before, you know that Debbie supported me through my big spiritual awakening. And, you know, I was guided to just like pick up and leave like everything I knew, LA, you know, all of it. And I did, you know, I went to Brazil and I was traveling for a while, and then a spirit came in and said, this was at the very end of, right at the beginning of 2021. And it was like, okay, now you're going to be done, and you're going to have to go back and teach others. And I was like, what am I going to teach? Wait. I just wanted to be a gypsy and continue roaming the world because this was fun. You know, can that just continue to be my spiritual truth? And Spirit was like, no, now you get to go back and teach. So it took a while, you know, to get this started. But now I feel like I've really landed on a spiritual truth inside of me. So like even just part of making these blessed rosaries, it is so in my heart. It is so full of love and like lights me up. And, you know, public speaking and giving spiritual talks and telling women who are like awakening to their purpose, you know, let me show you how I connect with Mother Earth. Let me show you how this can support you as a devotional practice, so that you can like get back to you, that deep inner truth inside. So I love it. I really love it.
If you notice, it's kind of like we're talking about, and I'm not saying that you have to meditate because I'm not that person. Because maybe I get my answers because I get them in my dreams. I get them when I just first wake up. I get them when I'm doing readings. or they download.
Your channels are crazy.
Yeah,
no one has your channels.
They're over there, and I don't know why they're so dead on, but sometimes I'm even like, "Ooh, what?"
No,
you know what I mean?
amazing.
But Debbie is like, "Wow, damn, that was good."
Yeah.
But the reason I'm kind of going in that direction, because I was saying to Hannah beforehand, you cannot see your spiritual truth if you're in fear, worry, and doubt. You cannot see your spiritual truth if you're in a rambling river or the ocean is all, and you're trying to, even if you're trying to look underneath the ocean and trying to see the fishes and the coral, you're still being knocked around. You're not going to be able to focus or be in that space. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's like, you cannot, if you're in fear, worry, and doubt, or in even anger, you're not going to be able to see the reflection of your spiritual truth by looking in that water. If you're in the water, it's going to cook you alive. It's going to be like you're a lobster. Okay. So there's a difference between going through the dirt and things fall away, or you staying in some place because you feel comfortable, but it's boiling you to death.
Oof. Oh my God. Complacency. That's like my worst fear. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Complacency of not going for it. When I think back, like how I want to end up, like, 100 years from now, like old, hopefully long gray hair. And I would love to just look back and pat myself on the back saying, you freaking went for it. You had those uncomfortable conversations. You spoke your most authentic truth out into the world, even if people laughed at you. You spoke your heart, to the person you wanted to be with, like all kinds of things, like that courage, right? That courage to just be who we are. But yeah, meditation is, some people swear by it, right?
Right.
I mean, hello, it's an ancient practice. Sometimes we have to still our mind. I do it. I do a morning practice of meditation. I also do other kinds. Everybody knows that, I work with plant medicine. I drink ayahuasca on a regular basis, monthly. And it's how I keep connected to spirit. It's how I release stuff. I go to the beach and I freaking dance.
That's me.
Okay. I do cold plunges to reset my whole nervous system. There's so many ways that we can get out of that emotional turmoil and just recenter, and even talking to friends, like when I call you, or get a fairy godmother, get a reading from a psychic, have someone come, to my talk and like hear the truths I have to share, and like to, get a life coach. And there's so many ways that are available to us now on the planet because so many people are waking up.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, even you could find your spiritual truth if you're connected to the wildflowers. It's like you go every morning and you talk to them and be part of that wildflower, because you are part of it. So it's like connecting vibrationally. It's funny because like on my, was it on Instagram? Our friend Jen, Jennifer, Dr. Jen now.
I love Dr. Jen.
She got her doctorate. Woohoo! So on the thing today about oh God, now my mind just
we were talking about connecting to spiritual truth. You could do lots of different things, meditation, going out to the wildflowers, and then Dr. Jen. And we don't know.
My mind just went blank. Oh my God, what was you talking about? Okay, now I got it. Thank you, spirits. Did you see it? This is how I work when I do readings. Okay, so they were talking about like Stonehenge, that someone wrote, and this is verbatim, this is not word for word, but it was like people going to, I've seen this in Sedona. I've seen this happen at Sedona, where people go to these spiritual places, so-called spiritual places, and because their energy, they drain it. And that maybe a lot of times, like Stonehenge, the stones aren't reciprocating that energetic field that we're looking for when we go there, right? But I wrote and said, but if you're attuned to your spiritual truth, or you're attuned to some part, even if it's a snippet of that energy, we can recharge that Stonehenge, or we could recharge that place in Sedona or Machu Picchu or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what us light workers, or whatever you want to call us, crazy or wonderful or beautiful, or whatever you want to call us, people, is that's what I think is part of our thing, is to recharge, to put the socket in together so it can boop, light up again. And so that can help thousands and millions and billions of people again. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can connect. If people are saying, well, I'm having a hard time finding my spiritual truth, is like, connect to that energetic space that gives you joy, that pumps you up. What gives me joy is finding missing people. Joy is ghost hunting, me being a fairy godmother, laughter. Do you know what I mean? Going to the ocean.
Yeah.
To find your joys is what's going to charge. That's what part of your spiritual truth is connected to, that joy. Just like you love joy of healing people, or giving information to people, or doing talks to people, or building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love, I call it, instead of like a teacher, because yes, I am teaching stuff, but like the archetype of the teacher, I just don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. I have a thing. I love to be an infotainer. See what I mean? It's so much more fun. But come on, Debbie.
I'm going to say that.
Not me?
I'm an infotainer.
I'm an infotainer. Like, let me entertain you. And like, do some fun stuff, and share information and spiritual truths with you at the same time. That's going to bring me joy. I don't want to be there like, everybody get their pencils out.
Yeah, no, I don't teach that way either.
I mean, like, I don't know why I think teachers have to be like that. I don't know why that image came to me. My mom was a teacher for forever, and she's not like that. She's super, super fun.
Yeah. I just did the video with her, so yeah, it'll come out in October.
Oh, I'm so excited when that comes out. You got to buy my mom's book, you guys. It's going to be the best episode
Open Heart
ever.
Club. Yeah. So but that's what I'm saying. It's like your spiritual truth is not going to be the same as everybody else. And if everybody else thinks that's the way you need to connect to it, or, no, it doesn't have to be that way. My thing is, it's kind of like, I'm using me as an example, when I teach psychic work or being intuitive, it's not like everybody else. I don't do the clairvoyant, I don't even know what the frick they mean. I don't want to know what they mean, because I feel like it's putting people in a box. I do not want to put people in a box. Do you know what I mean? I don't want you to put yourself in a box. Yeah. It's like the way you connect. Some people connect to their spiritual truth by being very serious, or by meditating, or being, writing things down. Yeah. You and me like to connect to our spiritual truth by laughter, by joy, by conversation. Yeah. Connecting to the earth, going to the ocean, connecting to the big trees, connecting to the wildflowers, or whatever. Yeah. So don't be hard on yourself. It's wherever you feel the pull to, and wherever you feel comfortable. And if someone says, well, Debbie, I feel comfortable just sleeping. Well, maybe the body of you needs that sleep. Get that sleep, get it to the space where you can feel comfortable in your sleep, that you don't feel like you need to keep on taking naps. Then that's going to help you get to your spiritual truth, is feed the body and know that it's happy, healthy, whole, and complete. Do you know what I mean? And then, because it's really not the body of you that you're trying to find the spiritual truth to, it's the spirit of you. Because the body of you, this is my thing, this is what spirit is showing me, is the body of you is where your fear, worry, and doubt lies. The body of you does not exist in any other dimensional space. I say that all the time. Yeah. It's connecting to the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are is the spirit of you. And it doesn't have to be in the body of you to work. It can be on the outside of you. We're always going to have that cord that's connected to this to keep us down in the 3D. It's kind of like gravity. It's kind of like going to the moon, and they got all their gear on to help them stay on the moon, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like, that's our body is. It's just kind of like the astronauts. It's to help us stay in this 3D dimensional space. But are we the 3D? No, we are further and beyond that. Yeah. So connecting to your spiritual truth is not putting a ceiling on anything.
Yeah. It's staying open to, it's being an open conduit, an open channel. And honestly, it's the heart space. Right. The heart space just opens, and what comes through, like when it lands in your system, it's so beautiful. Like I have had spiritual truths come through, like when they land, like the one realizing, truly realizing for the first time that I was not alone, that there was a veil that dropped, and I got to meet and see people, entities, I don't even know who they were. It felt like soul family all around me. Undeniable love that went like in my body, like, oh my God. And it was so beautiful. It was so amazing. And so that energetic key, right? So then these like keys of energy are in our system once the truth lands.
Mhm.
And then it's just remembering, reconnecting to that key that because then it shoots something viscerally through the body, which will support you to release the stuff that's not true, the stuff that's the illusion that we're trying to tell ourselves,
Right.
something like that.
Which is true, because the fear, worry, and doubt, or the body of you, is not your truth.
Mm-hmm.
This is not your truth. Because the spirit of you, when it goes into other dimensional spaces or other realms or whatever you want to call it, energetic
Yeah.
spaces, it's going to show itself differently.
Yeah.
You might show yourself as a wildflower. That one of these wildflowers could be you going, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
could be a dolphin because I love the ocean so much, or I could be a whale, or I could be a starfish, or I could be a horse,
Yeah. Seahorse.
seahorse. I love
Yeah.
it.
It's there's that movie that came out. Did you see it? It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No, where's that?
Oh, it's so it
Everything. What? Say it again. Everything.
everything everywhere all at once.
Every.
It is phenomenal. It is just like that, about spiritual truth, that we can be so many different things. It's a great plot. It's action packed. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a Marvel movie, but it's a trip. It's super spiritual. It's full of love. It's crazy. There are some wild scenes, and I was literally like screaming at the theater and like, oh my God, I can't even watch this. Like, it was out there, but so good. I think you would love it. I think you would
Yeah, I'll
love
have to check it out. I'll have to
it. Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you can connect to your dreams, or if you can, even your imaginary space, that's, sometimes I feel like they're bringing it back now, but like when I was in school, I don't know how it was when you were in school, because, we're like 20 years apart, but, um,
I'm sure it was the same.
we weren't able to express our imagination. Do you know what I mean? Like how they're taking the arts away, or music. Mine was music. I was in choir since I could
Oh
remember.
gosh, that's
I was in,
horrible.
I was in a band,
You
band.
couldn't express yourself? What do you mean you couldn't?
They took away the art. They took away the thing. They wanted to be math, history, da 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 da.
Oh.
There wasn't an art space. There wasn't a place to express yourself. Do you know
Oh
what I'm saying?
gosh, no, yeah. That I went to an arts high school.
Okay, so see, that's what I'm saying. And so
Yeah.
look at, you can be able to, so it's like me learning to that. I mean, I'm a vivacious personality. I tell it how it is. But I
Yes, you
laugh
do.
loud, and I bring joy loud.
You do.
Everything's loud about me. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm loud, but my love is loud. My fun is loud. Do you know what I mean? My healing is loud.
Mhm.
So if it's like, if you're going to a school where you cannot express, because I remember being in choir, because I have a very strong voice, not now, but then was very strong, on tune, da da da. I used to do soprano 1, soprano 2, alt. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, and I could even do tenor. They'd be like, "Okay, Deb, we need a tenor." My range was phenomenal.
Dang.
And
Amazing.
so, but because I didn't blend in with everybody, they were like, "No, we can't. We got to have you in the background because you're too present, and
Mm,
everybody else isn't present around you." So I
yeah.
had to compromise.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I was being taught, "Oh no, you need to compromise because you got to be like everybody else." If you notice now, and that's not my spiritual truth. So it's kind of like now, like people that, want to dye their hair and cut it and shave it and put, da da da, or their sexual preferences all over the board. It's being expressed now.
Yeah.
can do that. Do you know what I mean? A guy can wear a skirt and a girl can wear the pants or whatever you want. You want tattoos on your face? Great. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? But in my generation, you know what I mean? So we couldn't express our love. We couldn't express our joy. We couldn't be an expressive person. And that's what I feel like your spiritual truth is in your imagination. What you're imagining and dreaming about and going towards, that's your spiritual truth, because you wouldn't have that dream or that desire if it wasn't part of your chart. Okay. So that's kind of like, I'm going to go back to my near death when I had that spirit come to me, golden glitter. She would just look like golden glitter.
Wow.
And said, you need to, speak your spiritual truth.
Yeah.
That's part of it. It was like, it doesn't matter who it is going to affect, if they're against it or not against it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you need to, it's part of your chart. So when I was hiding from doing readings and I was living in Montana, out middle of nowhere, Bible Belt, I shut it down. And that's why I had the near death, was because spirit goes, excuse me, your spiritual truth. Hello, you have it in your chart.
Yeah.
Are you going to let go of that dream? Are you going to let go of that truth? That's fine. Then we'll dissolve you, and then you'll go into another space.
Yeah.
And so obviously I chose to come back. I don't know.
I'm so glad, because that's how I met you. That's fine.
That's after you met me. So so,
and that's how all these people are seeing you now on YouTube. Like, you didn't even have any of this, an awareness. Imagine you had no freaking clue that this was waiting for you.
Right. And
you
that's
just had to take the first step.
Right. That's just like for you. I mean, you would had no clue.
Yes.
Magical space that you're in. You're taking the ayahuasca and allowing yourself to be in this other dimensional space. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And allowing these other powers or this vibration to be presented to you, and that I feel like you're a lot more powerful in a higher space than I am ever, because
I don't know about that.
You surrendered. You surrendered, and it's almost kind of like, take me home, beam me up, Scotty, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, beam me up, because you hear people like take ayahuasca. Some people it's like it's like lightning in a bottle. Some people it's like, ooh, and then other people, they're like, oh, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
It showed their fear, worry, and doubt to them, I think.
Yeah, it does. It's definitely not for everyone. And I'm not here to recommend it. It's actually kind of like a faux pas to do something like that. The medicine, the spirit of the medicine will call you. And it doesn't, but don't be like mistaken. You can still be scared and be called. Like, most people are like, oh, well, if I'm called, then I'm going to be. No, I had no clue what was waiting for me, but I knew that I was turned down from John of God, the spiritual intervention. Like, what the heck? I came down to Brazil to get a spiritual intervention, and they rejected me. I'm one of the rejects. And I'm like, this is not okay. But spirit planned it that way, right?
Because then that's good, because now look at it.
It was like, she doesn't need the spiritual intervention on this trip. She needs to find Daime, right? The drink. It's in like a church setting. The name of ayahuasca is called Santo Daime. So Santo Daime was waiting for me. And I, like, my Chihuahua ear, was like, what's that? And the word ayahuasca had come up 3 different times in conversation, 3 months leading up to my trip. And I had never heard of the word before. It was like, what? So it kept popping up in my field. And even though I was called, like, I was like, okay, well, I think I feel called. I don't even know what this is about. I didn't research it. I didn't do anything. I just knew. I just felt that pull, like the seed you were talking about, where you feel the pull. It was like, I'm pulled, and I'm just going to trust. And, and the rest is history.
Yeah. I mean, there's the space of where I help people where their spiritual blockages are. Do you know what I mean? The words and the concept of what you're accepting and allowing in your vibrational place.
Mhm.
Obviously, I need to work on it too, because I'm not in exactly the exact space I want to be in. But
Mhm.
but you're always ever changing. You're always
Right.
growing. You're always
Right.
wanting that. You want to have dreams. Do you know what I mean? If you don't have dreams or an intention or a focus to go towards,
Yeah.
then why are you here? If it's like, Debbie, I'm taking care of everybody else. Well, then maybe you're not connected to your spiritual truth. A lot of
Yeah.
women do this, and some men do that too. Is like give, and
Mhm.
hoping that their truth or the gift is going to come back to them, and it's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you, like taking the ayahuasca or the daime or whatever you want to call it, it was helping you to kind of relax this intensity,
Yeah.
allowing that. It's like polishing the spirit of you. It's like coal and polishing the diamond. The
Yeah.
diamond is already in there. So your spiritual truth is already in you. It's
Yeah.
your choice if you want to polish it and chip away the tar,
Yeah.
or you feel comfortable. And that's what's hard, is because it can be very comfortable being the coal, knowing I can be a diamond, but it's like, I don't have to work so hard. I
Mhm.
think I'll just sit here and, you know what I mean? Because and then a lot of people are going to be like accolating, oh yeah, you don't, because you're going to be in the confidence of who you are,
Mhm.
in that comfort. You're going to be in
Mhm.
confident, you're going to be in massive comfort.
Yeah.
You're in massive comfort, you're not striving. You're not
Yeah.
striving, because change and choice and going in another direction, it's like cutting through the woods. You're making a new path. Yes, it's
Mhm.
easy to get to the old path because the path has been worn out. It's already put for you. It's
Yeah.
kind of like people going to the West,
Yeah.
going to Oregon.
The
First,
frontier.
you had to have the first person,
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark, to create the path, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we even follow the path of the deer. Like at my home in Montana, my backyard, you've been there, Hannah, is
Yeah.
beautiful. And I would have paths, and it's like, oh, you got all these paths. Yeah, no, I just follow the path of the deers and the
Yeah.
bears and the mountain goat. They're
Yeah.
the ones that created the path. So
Mhm.
it's easier for me to walk through it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're choosing to get to your spiritual truth and you've let the weeds or the flowers or the trees grow, you're going to have to cut some down to create your path. And sometimes that's not easy.
Yeah.
Not saying connecting to your spiritual truth is easy. It usually isn't. But at
Yeah.
the end, like they say, the light at the end of the tunnel, there's massive joy, there's massive love, there's massive healing, there's massive, and not only for yourself, but for everyone else that you're bringing with you on the path.
Yeah. It's so worth
Preach,
it.
Debbie, preach.
It's at the end of the day, it's so worth it, you know?
Yeah,
Please choose to be uncomfortable. Please choose to follow your heart.
right.
Please choose to put that ego aside and just go for it, right?
But
This is
ego's
your
fear, worry,
one
and doubt.
time.
So,
Yeah, so put it aside. Don't give it the keys to the car. Like
right,
it's not gonna go away. It can sit shotgun if you want, or the back
right.
seat, even better.
Well, yeah, you can bring it with and say, I
Yeah.
say that to people. It's like, take that fear instead of having the donkey with the carrot in front of you. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? The fear, worry, and doubt is like, oh, well, you're not going to make any money if you start your own business, or what's your parents going to think? That's the carrot
Yeah.
of the fear, worry, and doubt to keep on going. What's the society going to think? What, you're not going to make as much money, like the lawyer with the skateboard. What's your family going to think?
Yeah.
Whatever. That's the carrot that's making you go in that path, when you could tell that fear, worry, and doubt, like you're doing a hay ride, and say, I got a hay pile for you. You can
Yeah.
sit back there. I'll keep you. I'll
Yeah.
keep you close by, but I don't
Yeah.
need you up front.
Yeah.
Sit back. And it's gonna, and that thing is probably gonna go, thank God. I don't have to be
Mhm.
you all the time. Do you know what I mean? It will bring easement to you. It will calm your face down. You'll probably look even younger. You're going to have more energetic, because you're not, like those old vaudeville things with the circling, cups
Uh-huh.
and
The plates.
you try to do, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
put it back there. Let the cups and the plates lay down. You got the sticks, you got the cups. If you need to turn them back on, they're there, you know.
And you know what? It's almost like I want to do like a PSA announcement, for people. Like, think right now where in your life you can add the truth, the medicine that's being energetically brought to you in this video right now. Like, where is it landing in places where ah, all right, here's where it gets to shift. Or here's where I've been too focused in the ripples and I can't even see myself in the water, you
Right.
know? And write it down. Write it down so you can see yourself and
Right.
then figure out what you want to do next. That's step one is like unawareness, like I call it intimacy, right? There's the phrase, right? Into me, I see. It's
Oh,
it's
intimacy. Good
it's
one, Hannah.
it's deep intimacy. I didn't make that up. I
Oh,
heard
okay.
it somewhere along the journey, right?
Okay.
But I incorporate it in my close friendships and my close relationships
Right.
because I want to see myself deeply. It's just how I am designed because I want to know like what the heck is in here and does it serve me? Does it bring, life forward? Does it, express joy through me? Or is this stuff like this doesn't feel right? I got to let
Right.
this go. So it's deep. Like intimacy is one of the biggest spiritual gifts, spiritual truths you can give yourself.
Right. And if people are like, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. I don't know. Just write it down, like she said, but write it down. What is my spiritual truth? Write it down 4, 5, 10 times. What is my spiritual truth? What is my spiritual truth? Do it before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And something will pop up and the next morning you'll be like, I I need to go to the dog park, or I
Mm-hmm.
need to go to the library,
I need to break up with that person.
or I need to break up with that
Yeah.
person, or I need to go talk to my fairy godmother, or I need to do, and it's like, what do you want to tell me?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't have anything to tell you. No, what's comes in your mind when you see me right now? What is it that you would want me to know?
Mhm.
That could be like, oh, all of a sudden it connects to your spiritual truth. Your spiritual truth is going to be shown to you if you ask for it. Like I
Mhm.
said before, if you cannot change anything and you cannot get anywhere unless you acknowledge it, you
Yeah.
have to acknowledge it. But you can also, to let go of things, you have to acknowledge it too. So it's kind of like a gnat. If you don't acknowledge, well, like you said, get rid of that person, I should get out of this relationship. There's 20 million red flags. Everybody doesn't like this person, but I'm in fear because I put 10 years into this relationship. I've been in this relationship for 10 years and I don't want to start again, so I'll just put up with that, yada yada yada.
God.
So that's sad,
Yeah.
right? But you're not in your
God.
spiritual truth. So it's kind of like, show me my truth. Show me
Yeah.
my truth, show me my truth. And whatever thought, feelings, and emotions come up, it's connected to it. And it will make you fall away. Like I said, I tell people, I'm surprised Honey's still my friend because I'm letting go of friendships or being so blunt and being in truth so much that it's like my friends are falling away. It's like I
Yeah.
can't deal with you or they can't deal with me. My bleh,
I
you know,
don't know how I'm still here. I don't get it.
I don't know either.
Uh,
Probably hanging by a hair.
and my mom loves you too.
I
It's
know.
like, what the heck's going on? Just kidding.
I know.
Just kidding. We
These
love
two
each
women,
other.
there's something's wrong with them. They like me. But you know what I mean? And let that be, because it's not in your spiritual truth. They were there for lessons, the lessons that you were supposed to learn from them. It's done.
Mhm.
It's done.
Yeah.
Stop whipping it and hoping it will pop up again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The seed is done. So
Yeah.
it's connecting in that way. So let's go to you're going to be doing a show, or kind of explain what you're going to be doing. That's why we're talking about spiritual truth, because Hannah Banana's got a thing coming up.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
September
Thank you
10th.
so much.
Is that
September 10th.
okay? Is
It's a
what
Saturday
Saturday at what time?
at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. And what is this talk about?
So the title of the talk is called The Rhythm of a Cosmic Dance. And it is three truths that every awakened woman needs for connection, growth, and purpose. So I will be presenting, I will be infotaining
Infotainment. There's
come check it out. I love how you called it a show. It's a workshop. I call it a workshop, but yeah, it kind of is a performance at the same time, of just me entertaining.
right.
And it's it's spiritual truths that I've learned along the way. And they are nuggets of solid gold that support me in my life, on my path. They have given me a roadmap. Like when you're kind of like, okay, yes, sometimes you need to go off the trail and discover. And other times there's like, okay, this is the way to freedom.
Right.
These are the steps to love. These are the steps to peace, and really, and the steps to intimacy. That a lot of the talk deals with intimacy. And I would love to share it with anyone who wants to hear it.
Is it, do you pay for it? Is it for free?
It's for free.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's for free. So
it is for free. It is an hour long. There'll be some very fun, cool meditations involved inside of it. I will be, I'll just be presenting, and it's going to be on Zoom. You can find the tickets on Eventbrite. I'll put the link to my link tree. I'll give it to you, Debbie, so that they can just click on the link, and in my link tree, just click on register for the cosmic rhythm of the cosmic dance event. And I would love to have anyone who wants to come.
Right. Because if you're watching this video, you obviously want to connect to your spiritual truth.
Yeah.
The title is Conversation About Spiritual Truth, right? So everybody, I feel like 99.9 of people want to know what direction or connect to their truth.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you're making $1 million. That doesn't mean that you have to be happy, healthy, whole, and complete. That doesn't mean you can be a bubbling mess and still be in your spiritual truth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we're human.
Perfection is not spiritual truth. Perfection and having everything in order, and that's that's a body thing. That's a body thing. The spirit of you, like these wildflowers, not all of them are perfect. Some of them the leaves are, a little disordered, maybe some of them are, some of them are big and bright, and other ones are tiny. Some of them are not even open. You know what I mean? So, but they're in their truth. They're allowing the sun, the dirt, the water, being that is space. So when I mean, that's my opinion. When I'm talking about spiritual truth, I'm talking about, again, that is space, allowing yourself, and you don't have to be living in that is space 24/7, because it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
We came to be human.
Space. Yes. Yeah. But even if you tap your toe into it, it's kind of like, they say it's a drop of the ocean, but really it's the whole ocean, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's like you allowing at least a drop of your spiritual truth to come into you. Mm-hmm. And then it can grow from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not denying the truth of who you are. It's like, I want to move to Greenland, and I want to live on a mountain, and I want to be secluded for a year. Well, great. If that's your spiritual truth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's, and the more older you get, which I realize is you just have to. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, I can't do that anymore. Well, you did it for 15 years. I can't do that anymore. I just can't do that anymore, because that would be the body of me, or that would be me compromising for everybody else. Right. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't expect that from anybody else too. If they say, well, no, I don't want to be there, or I don't want to be in that space with you, I'll think of you. Okay, great. Then you're in your spiritual truth. Do you know what I'm saying? And that could be with relationships. That can be family, friends, associates, romantic relationships, work things. If you notice that you're like, I'm done with this job. I'm done with this job. I don't know why I'm done with this job. When you first got the job, you were ecstatic and you loved it and you liked it. And, oh, I'm so excited. And you announced it to the world and everybody's,
Yeah.
And after 2 years, you're like, what the frick am I doing here? Why? Yeah. And my daughter just kind of had that. She was working for this nutrition place and and she was being the nutritionist, and they were expecting so much more from her than what she, and she's like, no, I can't. She was saving herself because it was too stressful. Mm-hmm. So she let it go. But then the gifts that came from it, because she could spend more time with her grandkids, not her grandkids, my grandkids.
Yeah. Her kids.
You know what I mean? Be out in the, she's calling me more. She's texting me more. She's connecting to people more. Do you know what I'm saying? She's starting her own business. So I'm talking to her like I talk to you, Hannah.
I feel for you, Sophia. I feel for you.
Doing the exact same talk. I did to you, your mom, and my daughter. So, but you know what I'm saying? But she's 10 times happier. She's 10 times happier, you know?
Nice.
And so I asked her, I said, what if they asked you back and gave you more money because someone else tried to get someone else to replace her and didn't work. Right. So, and she's like, no, I don't need to go back there. I don't need to go back there.
Yeah.
So do you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like, yeah, embrace that moment and it helped you out at the time. That doesn't mean you have to stay there.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to stay there. There's some bridges. Like when I worked at and I mean, I say this all the time, but I worked at a Trophy Taker, which was a hunting thing, which is bow and arrows. I don't even hunt.
I remember that place. I went to visit you there. I got to see
you visit all the elk heads and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I did it because it paid the bills. It paid my electric, it paid my, so I was very grateful for that. But I was doing my spiritual truth, the readings and helping people on the side. So you can do it that way. You don't have to fully jump in and lose everything. That's not what we're saying. But at least put your toe in it. Put your toe and see how it feels. And then you go further, you get acclimated to the water and you get in there. And then next thing you know, you're swimming and jumping the waves, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Slowly but surely, I feel like that's happening to me. Like I jumped into a program for life coaching. It's been a beautiful journey, and just started to get clients and to begin to do these talks and to begin to share wisdom that I don't hear people, I don't go and like go to a guru and then come back and regurgitate stuff, like this is literally me on my journey, picking up things that spirit wants to show me. And then because in my own way, this is my gift. This is what I was meant to share with others in my own unique vibrational way.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that because what you just said, which resonated with me, might not with everybody else.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, going to a guru. I've never gone to a guru. You know that. I don't have mentors in the physical realm. They're all spiritual.
Yeah.
But, and so my information that I get is from the spiritual realm. That's
same here.
And you too. And I'm not
saying
the
not
earth.
to go to I also get information from the earth.
Right. I'm not saying not to get to, you can learn from us. But it's like you were saying, it's like going to a guru and then just repeating everything they said. Do you know what I mean? So that's one of my little irks, because I see some of these well-renowned spiritual speakers, if you want to call them.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you just got information from them. It's not even individual. It's not even your spiritual truth. Like you said, I went to this guru and I went to Tony Robbins and I went to the Oprah and I went to and I'm just repeating their words, but just in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to regurgitate this to you. I have no inkling what it means. I have never been connected to it. I've never been in the depth of it. You're not going to learn that way. You're not in your spiritual truth, and I'm not saying I'm the know-all do-all. Far from it. I'm learning every freaking day. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't want to learn anymore. But and they're like, deaf patooties. Because I'm learning just like right now. You saying, intimacy. I think that's just a beautiful phrase. Or I'm learning from you. You're learning from me. We're learning from everybody else. And that's being in your spiritual truth too.
It is. Yeah. So if you're feeling my vibration, I highly invite you to come and check out my talk. I'll give Debbie the flyer so we could like add a little picture in the video. But I'd love to share, wisdom that I received from Mother Earth, wisdom that I received from the cosmos. And, I target women, like awakened women, but in my last talk, a dude came and he like raised his hand at the end and he's like, can I have a session with you after this? And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Because men are also welcome.
It's the femininity. It's not, that doesn't mean it has to be female.
Right.
This is the feminine energy or the feminine vibration.
Yeah. So I invite men and women, anyone who wants to come, September 10th, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. And I just hope I get to see you guys there.
Yeah, I think and take what resonates and take what doesn't.
Yeah.
Or let it go or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this is the way to help find your peeps. Do you know what I mean? If you're resonating with Hannah and you're resonating with what she's talking about and you're connecting to that and you're like, oh, I want to know more. If you're leaning forward while you're listening to this, you're leaning forward, that's telling you the body of you wants. If you're leaning back, then maybe it's saying it's not the right time right now. Do you know what I mean? But that's okay because she's going to have more.
And if you're like me with Debbie on TikTok, maybe you should come too.
Or Hannah will send them my way and I gotta.
Yeah, totally.
For 40 minutes. Just do it.
Just do TikTok. Damn it. 2 posts a day at least. Should be 4.
But you're not the only one that I'm doing this to.
Nope.
Which is so funny because I was in my fear. So I was in my fear also.
When you didn't start, when I didn't start,
I was in the exact same spot as you. I mean, I can't think or feel for you. I can never, nobody can. Do you know what I mean? But I understood where that fear was because I was exactly in the same spot because I was like, I'm not computer savvy.
TikTok. Yeah. What the heck is a TikTok?
I'm right brain. I'm all right brain. Right. And my husband doesn't go on those kind of platforms. So, and it's like me saying to him, how do you shave your legs if you've never done it before? Do you know what I mean? Sure, we could figure it out, but so it was like I was the only one. I asked a bunch of people, can you help me? Can you help me? Nope. Chirp, 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 chirp again. So I was like, okay, I got to figure this out myself, which is okay. And I'm glad I did, but it's kind of like I had some kind of this aha moment where spirit is like, you need to tell these people this is where they can, get connection. Tell Hannah, tell I'm trying.
Okay, I'm surrendered. All right. I did it. I started to do it. I will continue to do it. It's actually been kind of fun.
Isn't it fun? Oh, what?
Making them and thinking of oh, what joke am I going to say? And I'm just going to go with it. It's been
it's really cute. Hers is really cute because she's making her beautiful necklaces or beautiful rosary beads.
Yeah.
And she's doing comments and saying things at the same time, Yeah. And it's funny because it's like, I don't know if you get that, but I get that, like every day. I'm not the kind of person where I can put my clothes out the night before because the next day I'm like, why did I pick that red thing? I don't want to wear red today. I want to wear this today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you do the TikToks, it's like the night before I might go, oh, I'll talk about this. The next day I never do. I'm like, oh, Spirit's like, nope, you need to talk about that. I'm like, but I don't want it. Yeah, you need to. So it's like, because someone else needs to hear it. Again, connecting to spiritual truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's to help other people.
Yeah.
To help you get into your spiritual truth. Totally. So you heal them, they heal you. I receive, I be a service. Totally. And I think that's part of the spiritual truth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's about all of us. It's about the collective. That's the new earth. That's the new era. We're here to all support one another.
So it's kind of like a puppy.
Okay, where you go with that? Oh, like we have to take care of the puppy?
Right.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I rescued a puppy the other day.
That's really right. Nice. You did. And how did that work out?
It worked out really well. She spent the night with me one night and then I took her to the shelter and they found her owner.
See?
So it's really
part of the spiritual truth. You were like, okay, I need to take this in. I don't know why I need to take this in. Is this supposed to be mine or is this supposed to be someone else's? Right? You wouldn't have found the owner if you didn't take her in.
Yeah.
So that's part of the truth. Do you know what I mean? It's like feeling it out. So I feel like, I mean, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. So I'm going to probably, I should stop, Debbie. Because I was going to go into our spiritual truth is our intuition, but that's another
That's
show.
a whole other thing.
Like I said, I could go into a rabbit hole. I say that when I do readings, I'm like, I can go into a rabbit hole. Call me out. I got questions.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing.
Yeah, but this was great. I loved this conversation with you.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. It's like I have these kind of conversations where someone is like you saying with your tea, or I mean with my water.
Yeah.
And someone's like with their tea going, I would say this at that time. I would, I resonate with that. I don't resonate with that. No, I don't believe that, or I do believe that. And that's what we're trying to do, is to have these kind of conversations. And we'll probably do some more down the road, and get you guys connect with us. If we can help you, we'd love to. If not,
I would love to. Yes. I would love to.
Yes. I do readings, psychicdebbie.com. You do, how can they connect with you?
So I'll put the link tree. You can always find me on YouTube, Wildflowers Within, on YouTube. Those are my comedy spiritual talks, or spiritual talks with comedy at the end of it.
Okay.
And then and I'll have a link tree on that page, and so you click that, they can connect to my social medias.
Okay. And then your Wildflowers Within on TikTok.
Oh, Wildflowers Within on TikTok. I got to get that now on my link tree. That's a new one. And let's see.
Are you on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram. It's Wildflowers Within on Instagram. Okay. That one's more for just the jewelry site. And then let's see, what else am I on?
Are you on Facebook?
There's a Wildflower. It's all on Linktree. So if you click on Linktree, especially if you're a woman too, it's to join the Wildflowers Within Sisterhood group. It's a private group. And I go on, I talk about astrology, I talk about moonology, manifesting, all that kind of good stuff. And it's free to join.
Yeah. See, I mean, can't beat that, right? I mean, I say go for it. Woohoo. Yeah. So I think that's fantastic. Okay. Well, I want to give everybody blessings and smiles. I think this was fantastic.
Thank you, Debbie. This was great.
Down below, connect with Jana. Even if you're not doing the show, connect with Jana.
Yeah.
Follow her and see where she can take you, or giving you some questions to ask yourself, and help you go in your right direction spiritually, because she loves to help you. She's very good at it.
And I love to entertain.
Beautiful spirit around her. She's like a little spry, or like a little fairy, right? I feel like she's like Tinkerbell. Everywhere. I'm more like the fairy godmother, because sometimes I have to be like this.
Yeah. And leaves me on my ass in the middle of a forest with a pumpkin and some mice. That's what she does. Okay.
Yep. I'll turn that pumpkin to a thing, and then I'll be like, psych, and take it away.
Oh, so funny. But I love you. I love you with all my heart. Even all the jokes I do, deep down, I love you, Debbie.
I love you too, sweetie. I mean, I'm blessed. Thank you, universe. Whoever put us together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You and your mom. I mean, so many good times. We probably should film sometime one of our trips, like the one at Sedona. Oh my God. People would be like peeing pants from laughter.
So good.
It was such a good time. Well, I want to give everybody blessings and smiles. And until next time, blessings.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay.